Welcome to Storytelling. This week's guest is a professional photographer based in South London. He rose to notoriety in 2020, where he was featured on Sky Arts as the Best Beauty Portrait 2020 out of 200,000 national entries. His image features in a Rankin 2020 series. Please welcome photographer Chris Bovell. Hello, Chris, and welcome to the podcast.
Hi, Debbie. Thank you for having me.
Chris, you are an amazing photographer. How did you start on your journey?
I started my journey as a young kid with what we call a point and shoot camera. And it wasn't anything that I took seriously. It was just something that I enjoyed doing. And I would take pictures of family events, holidays, school trips, and I'd always enjoy the buzz of people's faces when we went over moments that we enjoyed, cheeky moments, fun moments. And it was just something that I did as a hobby. But one day I got my first glimpse of what I saw a professional camera. And I thought, I wonder what this would be like to use. And so I remember cheekily asking the person, can I use your camera? And the person let me take a few shots. I had no idea what I was doing. And I was given feedback that all the images I took were unusable. But that one moment was enough for me to get the buzz to progress and to take it further. And so I bought myself a Finepix Fujifilm camera. And I remember trying to get myself out there, taking pictures of people's events. And it went well for a while until I began to listen to negative feedback and criticism. And that made me doubt my ability. And it also made me lose some of that passion that I once started the photography journey with. And so it took a while of me taking pictures once again by myself and for myself to regain that confidence. And so it was around about the year 2016 that I decided that I will try again. And that is essentially how I started taking photos professionally.
You managed to capture the essence of being in the moment, and you managed to capture the essence of the emotions within that moment as well. What is your formula for a great photo?
One of my formulas for taking a great photo is really just having an awareness. There's nothing worse than being at an event and not knowing what is going on. And so there are several ways that I try to do this. I ask the organizers what is happening and when, and I keep my eye out because essentially as a photographer, you want to capture key moments that tell stories that are meaningful to people. And so if you are aware of what is happening at that time, you can position yourself in the right place to take the right photo.
You take a variety of photos. You recently did some sports photos for a rugby club. Can you tell me some of the styles of photos that you've taken recently and some of your influences as well?
Essentially, this is a genre called sports photography. And one of the things, particularly with rugby, is it really tests your ability to be patient, but also to be very quick because there's a lot of motion and a lot of rapid changes in direction. So this is one of the photography genres that I find the most challenging, but sometimes the most rewarding. I also take professional portraits. So quite often people who need new headshots, whether they're an actor or they're in business, they may come to me and ask for professional photos. I also do events. So that could be corporate events, community events. And depending on what the reason is for the shoot will determine how I'd go about taking those photos.
Chris, can you describe one of your favourite photos?
It was late April and I just became a father to a lovely boy called Samuel. And I had decided to take some lovely newborn baby portraits to proudly be displayed on our wall. And these photos were very simple. There was not a lot going on, and it was focusing on the lovely baby eyes and the lovely round baby face and the peacefulness that comes from a newborn baby. And for me, this is my favorite photo because it has a meaning to me. It was the day that reminded me that I was now a father. I now had a life that was under my control, under my supervision, under my governance. And to me, this is my favorite photo because my son means the world to me.
And one thing that you also do is that you have your own blog where you provide additional storytelling behind each of the photos that you take.
One of the purposes of this blog was really to push me out of my comfort zone. Naturally, I'm very introverted and I don't really like to put myself out there. And so I determined that I need to come out of that bubble. And this blog was a way of me being able to tell stories about my photography journey, but also allow people to have an insight on what I'm thinking regarding photos and in some cases the processes that I go through in order to take a photo.
So, Chris, can you tell us some more about some of your featured photos?
Over a year ago, we had the Black Lives Matter protests, and it was quite interesting because this was the time where we're in lockdown and essentially no one was supposed to be going out and you were definitely meant to be socially distancing. And I took a photo of a lovely lady called Dolly, who I quite recently found out is actually a famous makeup artist that was on a makeup show last year where she did pretty well. And she essentially is wearing like this lovely glistening leather jacket. She's got an afro and she's standing proud holding a sign saying, "Your silence is violence." Such a simple sentence, but such a powerful one. And this was one of the photos that really featured well in my social media, and quite a lot of people were really finding it impactful. And I think quite recently it was hanging proudly in a cafe in Streatham. And every now and then someone would message me saying, "Chris, I saw your photo there in the cafe and it's really impactful. It really is a message that should be out there. And I'm glad that you took this photo." And that is one of the powers of photography. Photography isn't just something that looks good, but it's something that can tell a powerful message. It can challenge society. It can literally change the course of time. Photography is a powerful tool if used correctly.
And congratulations on your photography exhibition that took place recently as well. Can you tell us a bit more about how that came about?
Yeah, definitely. So I was recently part of a South London exhibition and it took place for over a week in terms of the exhibition at the Streatham Tate Library. But in addition to that, I was also able to display my work at the Woodfield Pavilion and also the Brickwood Cafe. So it was a great chance for me to get my work out there and to have a variety of people from different backgrounds and images of mine that they probably wouldn't have seen if it was in a standard exhibition gallery.
So, Chris, can you tell me about some of the exciting projects that you've worked on?
One of the most exciting projects I worked on was something that came up through a collaboration where I wanted to showcase the beauty of black skin and natural black beauty. And so I worked with a lovely model called Jackie. and I submitted it to Rankin's 2020. And I was fortunate enough to be one of the few people that were selected out of over 200,000 entries. And this essentially involved me being interviewed by Sky Arts, where I was essentially able to feature on national TV and showcasing my work to people all over the country. And in addition to that, I was also able to feature in Rankin's 2020. And we know that Rankin is a world famous photographer. He's taken photos of many celebrities. And so it was really great to have someone of his caliber critique and praise my work.
Chris, what is next for you?
Well, one of the things that I want to achieve is to have my photography on billboards. I want to be driving down the street, look to my left, look to my right, and see that my clients' faces are on advertisements. My clients' faces are on books. I want to make an impact by helping others to promote their business, whilst at the same time demonstrating my skill in taking great photos.
Chris Bovell, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
If you would like further information about Chris Bovell and to see his photos, then please follow the link in the show notes.